Survivor's ready!
Direct from Hobart, it's time for you to hear those so-called experts from Survivor Oz talk about another reality show, despite the fact they always said they would only ever talk about Survivor. It's The Amazing Race Oz, and here's your host,
Noah Grove. Hello, people and puffins, and welcome to The Amazing Race Oz, Australia's only Amazing Race podcast that we are aware of. I know there was one a few years back, I don't know what happened to that. So we're here, we are the number one and the best. We are here to talk about the 26th season of The Amazing Race. Blind dates versus recently dating versus long-term dating. Talking about not only the finale, but also the esteemed episode 11, which we all found time to talk about. But we are here. We're kind of combining the two because we were lazy, and it's been very busy around Survivor Oz places, and also Snug. Huge year for Snug, so well, we couldn't get that done, but we will talk a bit about that. We'll talk a bit about the finale, and we'll talk a bit about the season in general. It's all over. News came in this 2 weeks ago, I think it was, that Amazing Race has been renewed for the 27th season, so I guess that means we're renewed. I don't know, you'll have to ask Ben. But Colin from Canada, welcome back to the show for the final time of the season, and also, are you happy it's been renewed for another season?
I'm very happy because I have a feeling it'll be back to normal next season. Just for the context, or it was back to normal. For context here, when these episodes originally aired, the teams were just dating, and now half of them have been married and divorced since then, so we're a couple of years removed from season 26, so we all enjoyed season 27, and listen to those whenever you get a chance.
That Bergen and Kurt wedding, that took us all by surprise. Yes, Rossi, welcome back for the final time. Are you happy to see a season return? Alright, Jared! Last but not least, well, will he be least? I don't know, maybe, probably not. I don't reckon he'll be least because Chris and Alex aren't even here, so boo on them. Jared, welcome back. And season 27, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, season 27, probably a little bit underrated. Put in my top 5. It'll be great to see some teams return from that one, so that'll be great.
Top 5. Yeah. Alright, we should jump into it. What do we want to talk about? Episode 11? We may as well. Episode 11, this is our official episode 11 podcast right here, right now, for the next 5 minutes. It was also in Peru, like episode 10. I hate the South American leagues, or Central America, South, I don't know. I'm bad at geography. We had teams who had to go to the mosaic and look in a magnifying glass for the clue. That was weird. And there was a clown there as well. The detour was shake your hips, where they had to dance, or make some bricks, where they had to make some bricks. And after that, they had to go and do this big surfboardy thingy. Some teams were good at, other teams, Rochelle, were really not good at. Before they got to the final pit stop, and were told that it would be a final 4 this season rather than a final 3, which shame on CBS, shame on Bill Koch, and shame on The Amazing Race. But Rossi, give it to me. Episode 11, what are your thoughts on the episode, on all the detours and challenges and the final
4? Yeah, my favorite episode of the season. Clearly it was
You never tell if you're being serious or not.
I don't remember much from it, but I do enjoy the South American legs, unlike you. And I thought it was alright. I mean, it wasn't great. And Final 4, again. It was alright.
I just want to apologise to any listeners who episode 11 was their favourite episode and they were dying to hear some insightful commentary from us regarding episode 11. If you want that, go to Rob's podcast because you're not getting that here. But, hey, that's our motto. Survivor Oz, we have shit. Jared, what did you think about episode 11? Give me at least one extra sentence as well.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was okay from what I can remember. I suppose the biggest talking point is probably the clown, because the clown was awesome, and that the clown should come back every season or be sort of one in the teams of two, please.
Hagen the handsome clown.
Hagen and the clown, yeah, perfect combo for a team.
I'd love if that was a team and the clown was just called the clown. Hagen and the clown, your team number one. Sorry.
The detours, I mean, they were both good. It was good to see sort of two things that were fairly different. And then the surfing was great, especially because they went out to a buoy, or is it a buoy? I don't know.
Buoy.
Kristen's not here. We don't know. Yeah, and then they brought back the annoying Final Four twist, which I can't stand because I think it's just too many non-elimination legs in sort of the same race. It just loses all suspense in that final episode for it to come down to nothing in the end there.
Yeah, on one angle, I hate it, and no one liked it last season. They brought it back. What are you doing? Although, in fairness, this was filmed during season 25 was airing, or maybe before season 25 aired. I'm not sure. So it was filmed before the Final Four was aired in season 25. But on one angle, it was also Mike and Michelle, which was kind of cool, because imagine if they won the season. Colin, episode 11, and you had some thoughts on the Final Four twist that they brought back.
Yeah, I mean, the filming dates were November and December, so they wouldn't have seen the universal love for the Final Four, so I don't think that'll come back again. But it's funny because for anybody listening, they probably don't even know this, but 10 minutes ago we were all asking each other one-on-one as we came on the line, does anybody remember anything about this episode? But now that some of these things are coming back and we actually know what the tasks are, my memory's being jogged, and I think there were some good moments on this. I mean, the roadblocks and detours, they weren't necessarily the most entertaining of the season, but what they did have going for them was that they were challenging, and that's something that I think when we get to the finale we're going to discuss. I mean, the finale was really lacking in any type of challenge in the tasks, and we saw, Rochelle obviously struggled, Jelani struggled with the surfing, and the shake your hips. I mean, that some people are rhythmically challenged on this season, but
so much dancing.
This was a very dance-heavy season. It's kind of awkward. It was. I think it's all. I put in my notes that is, more of this dating junk is what I put. Like, they assumed people were just gonna be anxious to like have their hands all over each other and do these Peruvian dances, and it just didn't work out that way. But as far as the Final Four goes, at the time this episode finished, I did think that there might have been a way for the Final Four to work. With Mike and Rochelle, it's obviously easier to accept than with the scientists last year. I think everybody wanted Mike and Rochelle in the finals. The real killer for this is the whole eliminated team halfway through the episode. But when this was finishing, I was thinking to myself, if they just made this the last non-elimination leg, so don't have like 16 non-elimination legs in 11 episodes or whatever they had, and then let this be a non-elimination, but say you're still racing, like make it exciting. Don't just even the teams out. Make it a challenge and just throw them right into the finale. Let the whole leg play out with 4 teams. It would really work with that. So I wouldn't be opposed to them doing this in the future with a Final Four, but it can't be this, we're going to eliminate somebody in the first 10 minutes of the episode.
It just makes it so freaking unnecessary and ridiculous. At least in this season's defense, the team that came fourth also got eliminated fourth. It wasn't like the wrestlers last season, they couldn't find the building, so they got eliminated. Like, I completely with you. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just keep it through to the finale, like through to the very end, the finish line? Like,
especially
seems so unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem is, especially in a season like this, through probably no fault of the producers. This was just such an unusual season where none of the legs were close. It was always a blowout, and it was always so obvious who was going to go. Adding that fourth team into the finale, I was thinking when they revealed this, I'm like, this may actually help this season at least, because they could have used that extra competition all the way through the end, but it just didn't turn out that way. We do have to talk a little bit about how Mike and Rochelle's car troubles continue, that even when they're not driving the car, something goes wrong. Their taxi, like, completely breaking down or catching on fire or whatever that was.
Yeah, Mike and Michelle, probably one of the most unluckiest teams. Although they made it fourth, so they can't be too bad. But yeah, even going into the finale, it was just so obvious that they would be the eliminated team pretty early on, and they were barely even in the episode. But yeah, I'm with you on that. What's the problem with having 4 teams racing to the end? That would create more drama and more excitement, because there's a lot of crap going on in a short space and a race to the end. And Mike and Michelle probably wouldn't have won it anyway. So this eliminating 10-minute thing is just ridiculous. Rossi, will they ever bring this twist back again?
Well, probably. It'll probably be a long-standing thing, like the final 3 in Survivor. So,
Although
yeah.
I feel like now they've heard the audience's response, and season 27 will be filming after these two, so maybe they're kind of going to get a clue in finally.
I don't know. It's still up in the air. I feel like Phil's a fan of it, so they may do it, but I feel like Phil listens to the general public more than Jeff, so we'll see.
Will they ever do a final 2?
I don't think there's much room for a race with 2 teams.
Yeah.
After the first season, they're not going to do that.
Well, I guess the first season pretty much was a final 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Poor Joe and Bill. Jared, do you think they'll bring this twist back again?
I just have a gut feeling that they will. Maybe not next season, but I kind of think it'll be something that maybe pops up every now and then.
Final 5?
Oh, I hope not. If you're going to do a final 5, just do a final 11 and make it kind of like a 2-hour special of just one leg.
Maybe they'll have a season where they're all non-elimination legs, but they don't tell us that. It's just every week it's a non-elimination leg right through to the finale. That would be different.
They should just put one in the middle so one team goes.
That would be so terrible for CJ and Libby. Like, they'd be last every leg.
Yeah, that would be sad. I don't know if Curtin Bergen could last 12 legs. Colin, are they ever going to bring this back, or would you want to see this back again?
I think the only way it really needs to come back would be... See, part of the problem with this whole twist is that you only start with 11 teams in the first place, and you finish in the final episode with 4 teams. You've basically spent 10 weeks eliminating only, 7 teams? And yeah. I think if they're going to do this, maybe have one extra team. Like if you just doing an all-star season and you have 12 teams instead of 11, or if you are going to do it, like I said, where it's a season like this that really can use that extra competition in the finale, just make the judgment call on it. But to make it from the beginning, I mean, the finale should really be the teams that earned their spot there, that didn't come in the bottom. And to always throw the last place team into the finale and run the risk, they have a 25% chance of winning the season, it's always going to anger somebody.
Yeah, and it was particularly bad when the scientists won the damn thing. That was ridiculous. Poor Bebe and poor Jim and Misty and poor wrestlers. That could have been a great season ending. Episode 11, anything else to add at all? Did we miss anything of particular note?
One thing I wanted to mention with the Final Four is that in this season, one thing that I did like is that they actually got to do something before they were eliminated. Like Mike and Rochelle had actually to do a challenge. I forget exactly what they had to do, but I remember there was a challenge they had to do.
Well,
that was bad for the rest.
Last year they got to carry a manila envelope across the world, so that's something, right?
Poor wrestlers. That was horrible. So episode 11, are we done?
I think so.
I'll I'll take that as a yes. That is episode 11 podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Big fan of episode 11, shooting into this. All right, let's move over into the finale. We've kind of already talked a bit about the finale, but let's get into more specifics of episode 12 of season 26, the finale. Monster Truck Heroes, 4 teams racing to the finish line, and they are heading from Peru and they're going to Dallas. So something tells me this isn't the first time they've been there. And they had to go to the AT&T Stadium. I probably sound like an idiot saying that name, just saying, sorry, Dallas fans. And the challenge that Rossi was talking about is play like a pro, which I think was a pretty entertaining challenge on Jelani and Mike's part, trying to kick that football. And they had to get launched into the air, which was kind of random. Jared, did you like play like a pro?
I did. I did think it was a little bit annoying how it seemed to be geared to, I suppose, the more athletic teams, and the fact that I think it was Tyler who's like, yeah, I played football in college or whatever, which was a bit of a throwback to the surfers having that fast forward challenge. Yeah, I think it was good to have something that had a bit to do with it. I didn't get the whole, like, let's bring you up to the roof to get your playbook for no reason and then sort of come back down, and it wasn't that, like, that wasn't a challenge.
I want to go to football in Dallas. That looks fun.
I mean, I think they could have scrapped that and potentially added in some other play, like tackle somebody or get tackled or something or other that could have been funny.
Yeah, Mike was hilarious during this challenge, and that would be me trying to kick this football. I would be the Mike of this challenge. I used to play soccer, but I don't know about kicking a football. That would be difficult. Colin, play like a pro.
I actually hated this. This is part of the problem I have with the modern Amazing Race, is that they're throwing too many pointless challenges in there just so that you could see somebody do something interesting, like raising them up to the roof. I mean, it served no purpose. I mean, it's between that and the monster trucks. I mean, it was just, this episode had too many of those moments, and I miss the days when they could just have like a detour, roadblock, a final task, and it's more exciting that way as opposed to seeing these. The only thing that I really got enjoyment out of this for the whole football thing was the very awkward canned cheering that we were hearing playing over the PA system. Like, you're seeing nobody in the stands and then the crowd's going crazy. Like, it just seemed totally unnecessary.
Yeah, I did like when they ran out and they had their names and faces on the big screen. That was kind of cool. Rossi, play like a pro.
I think it was probably more interesting for the people actually participating in the challenge than the audience. I mean, it probably was a really cool experience for them to do the running out and seeing their name on the sign, but as a challenge, it was really uninteresting and not really a challenge, because all they had to do was fly up to the top and then grab their whatever, clue or whatever, and then they'd have to hit and catch. It was not really much interest.
It wasn't much interest?
Yes.
After that challenge, we had a Phil on the sea, and then we had Laura and Tyler waiting, trying to find directions, and we had Blair and Haley waiting for Laura and Tyler, and in the meantime, we had Mike and Michelle coming out. I thought this was a great little scene here, Colin, just seeing these teams. This is the final episode, the rest of the finish, and they're waiting around. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe this won't be so predictable.
It was like a standoff. This actually was one of my favorite parts of the episode. And again, I always love the moments where Haley says something completely absurd, and I'm just wishing that I could be Blair to have the response, because she's sitting there like, don't let them follow us. And I'm thinking, like, so what you're saying is to stay put. I mean, you're sitting there not moving, and then your friend, like, don't let them follow us, don't let them follow us. It's like, yeah, that's called not moving. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, lots of car drama this season as well. Jared, did you like this standoff moment?
Yeah, I did. There were some great moments in this finale with just taxis. And just it was just hilarious how they wouldn't go, and then Haley's like yelling at Laura and Tyler like they're trying to steal our taxi type thing, which they were like never going to do, and just the fact that they would sit there just so that Laura and Tyler couldn't follow them, but in the meantime they let two other teams catch back up, so it turns back into sort of a 4-team race again, was really stupid on their part.
Rossi, the standoff, and it really didn't affect the outcome in the end, I guess, because Laura and Tyler were first, but yeah, it was still fun.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good to see the dynamic on the final race and like to see the actual stress of it being the final leg and everyone trying to get whatever advantage they could. I mean, it did change it up a bit because Jenny and Jelani, who did end up leaving last, who overtook Mike and Rochelle, who were wandering the streets of Texas trying to find the cab.
Oh, poor Mike and Rochelle. This was an upsetting moment. And when they finally figured out where they were going, they went to the P2 Ranch. Rossi, ever been to the P2 Ranch before?
No. It's on my bucket list.
My bucket list is to be lifted up into the AT&T Stadium and get the playbook, or to be kicked in the nuts by a zebra. One of those two. Have you ever been to Texas before?
No.
Oh, all right. I remember I used to ask those stupid questions. I'm glad I don't ask that anymore. Have you ever been to Zambia before?
Yeah, but you see, you missed that, and we don't realize is that Rossi lived in Zambia for about 3 years.
Oh, damn it!
Jared's family immigrated from Peru.
I'm the worst host. Bring back asking people random questions. Alright, maybe next season. Rossi, the challenge Cowboy Up, and we had the hashtag Giddy Up on the screen. I wonder if Kristen was live tweeting hashtag Giddy Up at the time. Rossi, did you like Cowboy Up? This was probably the worst part of the episode for me. I was like, what the hell?
What was it? I don't even remember what they had to do.
They had to ride a horse, pretty much.
Oh, okay. It was pretty alright. I thought it would be a bit harder with all the...
I apologise. Colin is writing obscenities into the chat bar. Hello, Kristen. Should you be listening? Which I know you will be. So, Kristen, why the hell aren't you here right now? Get back in the dungeon. Anything else to add on the Cowboys, Ross?
I thought it would be harder. The animals seemed to be doing all the work. They just knew where to go. It's like they trained them to do that. But I did enjoy when Jenny fell off the horse into the water.
They should have had to get a loan for these horses, I reckon. That would have been good, like typing random shit into a typewriter. Colin, Giddy Up, Cowboy Up.
Just another thing I hate about these recent seasons. I mean, we could have done without this and just had, maybe have them kick the field goal, then have them do the thing where they go to the top of the tower and have to spot where the clue is. And this in the monster truck, I mean, it was just there to add something else into the finale and really just took away from the race itself. It was just completely pointless.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Jared?
Yeah, it was pretty stupid. It seemed to sort of only be there as a place to, I suppose, eliminate the team that was in last at that point. I mean, the teams had, if it had just been them rounding up the cattle, then I'm sure it would have been fine, but they had a team of like 20 helpers with them, so I mean, what were the cattle going to do? They seemed pretty well versed on how to go from one pen to the next, and I'm sure that they do that all the time, so there wasn't really any challenge element to it.
Yeah, and after that challenge, Mike and Rochelle turned up. We had Phil there, heartbroken, I'm sure, telling them that they will no longer be racing. And I've written here in all capitals with an exclamation mark, finally gets to meet the kid. There was a confessional from Rochelle that what a fitting end to their story, that Mike finally gets to meet this esteemed kid that we've been talking about. So he wasn't abducted, or he or she wasn't abducted by aliens. Hashtag callback to a random episode. So, yeah, it gets to meet the kid, but Mike and Rochelle out. I was very upset about this. I wish they were the winners. Although they had the Final Four twist, so maybe they shouldn't have been the winners. Colin, Mike and Rochelle, was that our favourite team of the season?
Yeah, at least in the top two, but probably the best team. I'm just kind of disappointed that with all of the producers made Phil do all season with the whole love connection thing. Like, couldn't we have just had one awkward moment with him? I'm sensing a little bit of love connection with you guys. You want to talk about that?
Kiss. Yeah, Phil loves the love connections. Do you think it was fine that they left because they were Final Four, or would you still wanted them to win?
I wanted them to win, but at the same time, I think even with Mike and Rochelle winning, it kind of would have been a bit of a sour note that a team who came in last and was sort of coasted into the finale 2 years in a row could win it. I mean, I don't think that would have helped the Amazing Race as a show be very credible.
Yeah. Jared, Mike and Rochelle gets to meet the kid.
Yeah, that's exciting for him. I'm very happy too that they brought them back, Mike, Rochelle, and the kid for the Amazing Race 27 family too.
Family edition back.
So that was great to see them again on the screen. They were a good team. I mean, there's always that team that's you don't expect to do well, and somehow they just kind of creep through the legs. And the fact that they won the third leg was a huge shock. And I mean, they're probably happy with that. And whatever they got, did they get a trip or did they get Fitbit stuff? I don't know. Hopefully they got a trip. Yeah, they were a fun team. They weren't necessarily my favourite, and I wouldn't have liked to see them win after kind of the Final Four twist. But they provided some good entertainment, and they definitely started the finale well.
Rossi, sorry, Mike and Rochelle, they're gone.
Yeah, I kind of saw it coming once they were saved. I didn't think they would last to the end. But then again, stranger things have happened.
Purple scientist.
Yeah, they were all right.
Yeah, I thought it was a spoiler. I talked about it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The episode's called Monster Truck Heroes.
Because
I thought
of the truck stop?
Yes, so I'm like, Mike and Michelle are in the finals, and then I was watching the last episode, and I'm thinking, well, it must be a Final Four twist because it's called Monster Truck Heroes, and it turned out they had nothing to do with it. But I thought it was a spoiler.
I wondered about that when I saw the episode title, but then I thought to myself, I'm like, no, that probably wouldn't be a spoiler because it's not like Mike runs a monster truck stop. I mean, it's a truck stop. It's a bit of a stretch.
Well, maybe they're calling them monsters. Mike and Michelle are not monsters. Leave them alone, CBS. Alright, Mike and Michelle, let's look at some of their trivia. Not a lot here. Rochelle, 29. Mike, 26. Michigan, he's a contract engineer. He's a... What? Mike is a pro wrestling promoter?
Yeah. He's actually a pro wrestler. If you look at anything he puts up on Facebook, he's always... This is why it's so surprising that he seems so unfit during the race. Because he posts these pictures and videos all the time of him in the ring taking chair shots and stuff.
I thought he was the... Is it Rochelle that's the truck stop?
No, Rochelle does roller derby, but he owns a truck stop and he promotes his own wrestling organization.
How come this was not brought up? This seems important. I wonder if Brooke and Robbie were backing him.
Well,
I love this picture here is Mike in a shirt that says "I heart truck stops."
Why did the Amazing Race choose to focus on the truck stop part and not? Because you would think on the Amazing Race you want to sell the fact that these people are really fit, and you're pairing up this roller derby beast with this pro wrestling beast. I mean, that would have made them a little bit more of an interesting team.
Plus, they love wrestlers. Laurie and Bolo, Brooke and Robbie. Like, you'd think they'd want to continue the wrestling trend. Let's look at their trivia. They were the first pre-dating team to win a leg. They were the last pre-dating team standing. Rochelle was the only person to perform a roadblock in leg 4. Rochelle was a vegetarian. They were the second male-female team to be the 4th team competing in the final leg. Okay. What? When else did they do fourth?
Well, last year with the wrestlers.
Oh, I thought it meant they were fourth. Yeah, I get it. And you can follow Mike on Instagram. His name is My Beard is My Co-Pilot. And Rochelle's Instagram, My Name is Rochelle. So there you go. That's Mike and Rochelle. What a fun team. Hashtag bring back Mike and Rochelle.
Please.
All right, and just like the finale episode, let's not give a crap about them and completely move on. And they're a distant memory of the past as we move into the final stretch of the episode. And we had to go to Reunion Tower, and the challenge was keep a sharp eye out, which Haley, Laura, and Jenny competed in, where they had to look out for the flags while going down the tower. Definitely not one of the best heights down tower challenges they've ever had. Haley was particularly entertaining. Ross, you keep a sharp eye out.
Yeah, pretty lackluster challenge. The fact that most of the teams thought it was this random parking garage in the middle of nowhere, like the middle of the city, shows that it was a pretty poor challenge. Yeah, it was boring.
I just love that Haley had the wrong thing. Like, what a great, spectacular ending to Haley's story. That she screwed this up and ruined it for them. Jared, keep a sharp eye out. Boring, good.
I thought it was pretty boring. The only good thing about it was that Haley spotted the wrong thing, and that was just perfect, considering every other leg she's been right with her directions or where they should go and what they should do. So for it to come down to the finale and for her to make that mistake was, it couldn't have gone any better than that.
Colin?
I also want to point out this is another one of those absurd Haley moments where you're just waiting for Blair to say something when they're trying to find, this whatever she thought was the flags, and she's screaming at Blair, direct to the cab driver. It's like, direct him, Blair, direct her. I'm like, what, to the place that only you saw? Like, what's Blair gonna do? It made no sense.
Poor John, the cab driver. He got a rough time with Blair and Haley there. Yeah, that was good. And Blair just never says anything.
I will say, I'm actually going to disagree with everybody on this, though, because this was the one challenge of this episode that I did enjoy. And I don't think I would have if it wasn't for the fact that somebody got it wrong. But the fact that somebody did get it wrong, it brought some type of challenge to these challenges, as opposed to just drive 20 feet in a monster truck and ride a horse for, however long, and here we're going to raise you up on this rope to the top of a stadium. I mean, this at least provided some type of challenge to the episode, even if it was just Haley's moronic mistake that cost them the race. That brought some drama to the episode that I think wouldn't have been there otherwise.
Well, I guess if you look at it, they probably would have been the winners if they hadn't made that mistake, so it probably did have an impact on the episode. And then, of course, the real thing was these random wavy flags, and they had to go to the monster truck. And we had Phil on the Sea number 2 in one episode. Monster truck. Like, I have no notes other than monster trucks. There was nothing to it other than ride the monster trucks to the final challenge, Jared.
Yeah, that was pointless. The only good thing about it was the random redneck cheering people.
Was that Can cheering as well?
I don't think there were actually people there that time, so that made a difference. They switched things up on The Amazing Race sometimes. It was, that whole bit was boring. Yeah, why did they need the monster trucks in there at all?
Yeah. Is Dallas known for its monster truck culture? Is that a thing? I'm not sure. Colin, monster truck?
Yeah, this was probably the most pointless thing we've ever seen in a finale. And I don't know why they put it in here. I mean, I'm thinking that maybe it's getting to the point where these cities are only allowing them to film if they showcase what the city wants. But you think they could do a better job of turning this into a challenge? Like, do something, have it be like, you have to find the key for this monster truck in some type of mud pile, get them like completely drenched in mud, and then you have to, do a backflip with the monster truck. I mean, something other
That would be a good way to bookend the season if they had to go through mud. Because remember episode 1, they had to go through mud?
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, like do something that's going to make this look like they're really challenged. And I don't even think they found a way to explain why this was in there. It's like they're going to have to turn a key into ignition, hit the gas, and then hit the brake 5 seconds later. It was completely pointless.
Yeah, this was lame. Rossi, monster trucks. I know you're a big monster truck fan.
Oh, yeah, I love them. They're great.
The funny thing with you is that's probably what your expression is when you do love something. So you can't tell if you're joking right now or not. Yes. Continue. When I stop talking, that means you start talking. That's how it works.
Okay, I get it now. Thanks. Yeah, I thought the challenge, lack of a challenge, you can drive. They know how to drive, so it wasn't a challenge.
Bert and Kurt, wait, what's their name? Bergen and Kurt? They couldn't do that. Bert and Kurt? That would have been a better name.
Bert and Kurgan?
Yeah, Bert and Kurgan, yeah. Continue, Russell.
Yeah, like Colin said, I wish there was more of something to do. Maybe something that they would actually be tired from doing and would struggle to do the last challenge. It was pathetic.
Speaking of last challenge, we were wrong once again. It was not animals and it was not costumes. Selfies. They came back. They weren't all for nothing. The selfies had a purpose. Oh my! This is 2015. The final challenge is Imagine season 1 final challenge. Put selfies on a wall. Selfies really? Although it was probably better than last year, which sucked. Colin, selfie final challenge.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the only drama we had out of this was which team was it where they struggled to fit them all on the board? Like they had everything right, as everybody was going to have everything right.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we need to rearrange this. This doesn't look neat enough. Like we should have known with the selfie thing that it was going to make its way in here, but I'm just surprised this wasn't like brought to you by the selfie stick this episode or something. We need you to get a selfie. Yeah. The final challenge should be, we need you to get a selfie of yourselves in front of your selfie board with all of your selfies in the proper order in the background.
That would be good. And I feel like it was a given that Laura and Tyler would win the show at this point. But Jared, selfie challenge.
Yeah, I think it's potentially one of the worst final challenges they've ever had. I mean, the most difficult part about it was probably the whole unlocking the shed. And that bit was just exciting because Jenny and Jelani kind of overtook them. They were in the lead, but then they couldn't space out their pitches properly and tried to make it too neat, like Colin said. Yeah, it was just boring and too easy. I feel like with this, there wasn't any, when did we take this? When did we take that? They seemed to know the order kind of straight away. And the only stumbling block was that Tyler and Laura, I think, put one of their shots at the end when they should have put it at the start because it had to be in chronological order. But, yeah, boring challenge that didn't really take that much skill.
Rossi?
Yeah, I did think the best part was unlocking the shed. And one thing I read was in one of the posted interviews online of Jenny and Jelani, was that they struggled with the challenge because most of their selfies they were forced to take because they didn't have enough. And most of them were in either airports or taxis. So apparently it made it really hard for them to distinguish where they were. Whereas opposed to Laura and Tyler had it so easy because they took so many freaking selfies.
That's funny because I thought all season that when we were seeing the selfies, that was a moment when the producer said, okay, get your selfie for the episode.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a good life lesson. Take more selfies. I don't know about the morals that Amazing Race is trying to teach us here, but My favourite part of the challenge was Big Don, the guy. Oh no, that's not right.
And how does he know too? Like, that's what I was wondering. He may know, like, oh, this is the order you were in, but this guy wasn't there, and he's like, no, I don't remember you guys being in that pose at that moment. Like,
yeah, Big Don and Hagen for season 27.
There's a lot of questionable judging this season. Like, I feel like if you're gonna bring a judge in, it needs to be something where it's like, okay, well, you're if you're putting on a costume, it needs to match exactly. But these things where it's completely subjective, like the perfume, oh, this doesn't smell right to me, or this guy, like, who's gonna know if he gets it wrong? Like, have some relevant judging.
Perfume lady. She's just skilled at smelling those perfumes. She's a master. After that ridiculous challenge, they had to take the monster truck back.
Once wasn't enough.
Yeah, and they had to go to Continental Avenue Bridge. Rossi ever been to? Forget it. That was the finish line. Apparently, it's the new bridge, and they don't know where Continental Avenue Bridge is. And we have our winner. It was so obvious from basically the selfie challenge. Lauren Tyler, Hayes and Magdalena, dating or blind dating version of Stephen and Ali. Pretty meh team. They are the winners of season 26. It's not going to be a pre-dating team. It is a newly dating team wins this season. Of course, Bill was jumping up and down. So, first place, we have Lauren Tyler, Colin, the new winners of The Amazing Race.
I'm not unhappy with them. I think that Tyler's a really great character. Laura, you could have paired Tyler with anybody, and I think he would have made good TV. This is a step up from the last two seasons. That's all I can really say.
Lucky Alex isn't on the episode because he loves the candy girl. Who was before? Oh, that was the All-Stars. Let's not talk about that. Rossi, Laura and Tyler, number one, the winners.
I mean, at least they're better winners than the All-Stars from 2 seasons ago. I enjoy them. I think they were good racers. I think they were overall one of the strongest teams on the race, and I think they did deserve to win. Yeah, they were pretty good. They know their selfies better than anyone else, I guess.
They were the selfie king and queen of this season. I think they were a pretty good team, and they were entertaining and they were good, but they were just the kind of meh. They were kind of good, but not the best. Or kind of entertaining, but not the best. They had some fun moments, like when they went to the pub. That was funny. And Hazer Magdalena. Jared, Lauren Tyler, the new winners.
Yeah, they're an okay team. I did love the whole taxi scene at the end where they went to ask Jenny and Jelani's cab driver where to go, and Jenny and Jelani's cab driver probably didn't lose them the race, but contributed to it, which was funny. Yeah, they're an okay team. I think they're worthy winners just because they were up the top nearly every single leg. I mean, they had a couple of bad legs in the middle, but apart from that, it was kind of all sort of thirds and seconds and a couple of firsts in there. So they definitely deserve to get the win. Not the most exciting team, but not the most boring either.
Second place was Jenny and Jelani, a team that started out promising, really deteriorated in my eyes around the end. They had some moments, but really it just seemed like they kind of didn't like each other too much, and it was just whatever. Jared, did you like Jenny and Jelani? Were they worthy second places?
Yeah, I think they were. I just love that their relationship deteriorated so much after being so positive kind of the first couple of legs, and then it went downhill, and then they kind of got back on the rails, and then this final leg it was all back to kind of Jenny yelling at Jelani again. I think Jenny is a really fun character. Jelani, I think they were just a fun combo because she was so uptight and he was so relaxed, and that provided sort of great television at times.
Rossi, Jenny and Jelani, second place.
I feel like that's a solid place for them. I feel like feel like they were always kind of destined to go far but not win, even from the get-go. They did get annoying at parts, and I felt like I wish they left, but I mean, I'm glad that they didn't win. So.
And Colin, Jenny and July in second place.
I think I agree with pretty much everybody. They were very competitive, and they did well on each leg pretty much. So I think that they're worthy of being a top 3 team and definitely a second place finisher. If they had won it, I wouldn't have been upset. I think more than any other blind dating team, they probably felt the most awkward with this whole thing. And I think that's the reason we didn't see a lot for them for several weeks. I would love to see them come back on a future season because I think that we get a lot more personality like we did in the first couple episodes if they were to come back and not have this whole awkward blind dating selfie thing that they had to, go along with.
Yeah. Third place, Haley and Blair. This was the most stereotypical third place team. Right? There's always teams like this coming third place or second place. I love that they made the final and probably the most entertaining team of the entire season. Colin, Haley and Blair, third place.
Yeah, they were definitely the most entertaining, and this season needed them. Can any of us imagine this season without them? I mean, it just would have been completely boring, because I think the idea they had with this was that maybe we'll get these blind dates and it'll work out, and these, like with Jeff and Jackie, even though it didn't really work out with them, but still, the other side of it is I think they were expecting that if these pairs didn't click, that they'd just always be butting heads. But the problem is most of them, even the ones who didn't click, they didn't know each other, so they were too polite to really argue a lot of the time. And Blair and Haley kind of played exactly into what I think they wanted. If anybody really wants a good laugh, read Blair and Haley's exit interview they did. It's funny to see their reactions to each other, them talking about their reactions. Plus, biggest surprise, I think, of the entire season is that coming out of this, those two are tighter than any of the other blind dating teams, to the point where they say they talk to each other almost on a daily basis now.
Except for, of course, Bergen and Kurt, who are getting married.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget that one. Rossi, Blair and Haley, third place, runners up.
Yeah, I was rooting for them throughout the whole last 2 legs to win, and they were doing so well, 2 first place, and then they lost it, and I was so devastated. But they're a great team. They need to return for multiple seasons. I don't even care if they're a Rupert or whatever. They need to return at least 4 times.
They did say they would do it too.
Oh, I think they might be back then. Who's a better runner-up, Haley and Blair or Will Sims 2?
That's not a question, Noah. I can't believe you asked that.
Will and Manifa for season 27.
I would not watch it.
I would watch that.
Oh, I totally would.
I think they would actually, no joke, bring a lot to a season. I think they would be entertaining. Jared, Blair and Haley, last team, third place.
Oh, they're amazing. Their fights and the arguments over directions, and then Haley the whole final leg. I mean, they're just a great team that constantly provides entertainment, and I suppose were the shining light of the season.
Yes, and Go-Go Stop ringing in the background also. So, yeah, that's Haley and Blair gone, the third place team. We need some hashtags. I'm not going to go through every team, but give me some better hashtags, Colin, for the final 4 teams. Don't have to do it for all. You can do it for all if you want.
For Mike and Rochelle, hashtag is your kid real? Blair and Haley, I don't think I could do justice with a hashtag without doing Haley's voice, but Blair, why aren't you listening to me in Haley's voice? Jenny and Jelani, hashtag hi, we're Jenny and Jelani.
Yeah.
And then, of course, for the winners, hashtag Hayes and Magdalena.
Yeah, that should have been their hashtag. I think hashtag Kid Tease should be for Mike and Rochelle. Rossi, give me some better hashtags than RX for love.
for Mike and Rochelle, it has to be hashtag never met my kid. For Blair and Haley, it's I don't have one. Hashtag Haley, because there's only really one team member on that. Hashtag interracial, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah,
Lauren Tyler. Jared, give me some hashtags.
For Laura and Tyler, I do like Alex's whole hashtag team selfie. Jenny and Jelani, hashtag Jelanini.
Yes.
Haley and Blair, hashtag train wreck. And Mike and Rochelle, I think it just has to be hashtag Rochelle owns.
Yeah, Rochelle was awesome. She was really good at the challenges. All right, let's talk rankings. I haven't gone through the exact. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I have got the final results here. Jared, are you nervous?
Yeah, I feel like expectations are higher than normal given my Euros Vision rankings win last night. So in the high from that, but I'd hate to fall back into last place again.
Yeah, Jared, you're a winner in the rankings. You've lost one with Survivor, won one with Eurovision, so here's the decider. Alright, so let's get into it. Well, I can tell you that no one picked the winner except for Colin. Colin, you picked Laura and Tyler as the winners.
I did.
So good job at that. I picked Jenny and Jelani in third place, so they were second. A few people picked Jenny and Jelani first place, and a few picked third place, so we all got points. I'm pretty sure everyone but Rossi got a point for Jenny and Jelani because we had them in first or third place. And I'm not sure if anyone put Haley and Blair in the finals, but some people put them close. So let's look at the final results. How many people? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In sixth place, it is someone on the line right now with a total of 1 point. Ooh, drum roll! And very happy to say this. Rossi, you are last.
You're the new Jared.
How do you feel? Jared, you're not last.
Wow.
That Eurovision.
A bad year of my rankings, for sure.
You should have joined Eurovision, Rossi. You could have done well. Yeah, all that Romanian guessing and Albanian is helping you out here, Jared. Alright, in fifth place, it is not someone on the line right now, so you can relax, Jared. You're not second last. Alex Morella with 2 points, so he's not here. He couldn't make it, but we thank Alex for his written recaps. Make sure you check them out. The last one of the season, very entertaining with his selfie count. Alright, so that's 6th and 5th place. And now, in equal first place, it is, on a total of 3 points, Colin, Kristen, Noah and Jared, all 3 points. We are all first. Everyone's a winner except for Rossi. Jared, technically you're a winner, but not really. Kind of, I guess.
Oh wow, I'm in complete shock. I'm going to go out and buy a lottery ticket after these wins, and I'll probably be on the news tomorrow, winning a couple of $1 million. So things are looking up in Emu Plains.
What's the news is going to be like caption: "Born loser turns his life around."
Local Emu Plains boy correctly wins Amazing Race Oz rankings. Emu Plains Times. Yeah, Jared, you're having a good 2 days. 2 wins in 2 days. If only you got Survivor and you would have been on top of it. Colin, also an equal winner. How do you feel?
Well, I won last season too. I felt better then because now I'm tied with Jared. So in a way, I'm not sure how to take that. Like, how much further will I slide?
That doesn't look good on your resume.
Yes.
At least you didn't lose to him.
Yeah, Rossi, how do you feel? You're a loser to the ultimate loser.
I beat him in the Survivor rankings this season, so I'm good.
You asked what your point was for. I believe your point was for maybe Jonathan and Harley. I can't quite remember. But well done on getting a point. You're not an ultimate loser. Yeah. So, yeah, 4 people in equal first. Kind of a bit boring, but there we go. That was the rankings. Wasn't really on the ball with the rankings. Jared?
Fits with the Final Four twist, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. 4 people going. Yeah, so Kristen couldn't join her, but she got 3. Kristen, hope you make it out of the basement someday, but it was nice knowing you. Alright, that's the rankings. Should we get into some of these final questions to wrap up this season of The Amazing Race? Let's go. Some quick fire questions to finish it all up. Let's start with favourite team, Colin.
Mike and Rochelle, but I'll put very closely behind CJ and Libby and Blair and Haley.
CJ and Libby, yeah. Rossi.
It's tough because I want to say Blair and Haley, but it was mostly Haley. So I'll say Blair and Haley with a close second of actually being Laura and Tyler.
Wow, Laura and Tyler. Jared.
Blair and Haley.
Least favourite team of the season, Jared?
Ali and Steve.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting them, but I can see that. Rossi?
Matt and Ashley.
Whoa! Jeez, Rossi. Shame on you. No wonder you're the loser. Colin.
Oh, wow.
I would have said Ali and Steve, but I love their self-destruction, so I have to go with Jeff and Lyda.
Jeff and Lyda.
Oh, yeah. Make it them. I forgot they were on the race.
Poor Jeff and Lyda. Favourite leg, Colin? Favourite episode, favourite leg?
Favorite episode, probably which one was it where they were, they had the floating hot tub challenge?
Yeah, Evelyn.
Yeah, probably that one.
And of course the shoe shop. That was good.
The Krogs are...
Yeah, Clinks, Clogs, Quonks, whatever they were. Rossi, favourite episode league?
Yeah, I have to go with that one, the Netherlands one. That was a good one.
Jared?
I'd have to go either the very first leg or leg 4 with the Cataday Cafe in snooker.
I'm surprised no one said Monaco. That was my favourite league. I thought that was a great episode. And least favourite, Jared?
Oh, how do you pick? One of the non-elimination legs, maybe the first one in Namibia.
Yeah, there were a lot of great episodes this season. Rossi?
Gonna be a big call, but the finale.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that, but it wasn't great, was it? And Colin?
What is this for least favorite?
Yeah.
Probably toss up between the finale and the Thailand non-elimination one.
Zip lining to give people sandwiches.
Yeah.
Colin, team you would like to see return for an All-Stars, and also a team you think should come back for an unfinished business season.
Well, unfinished business, Mike and Rochelle. Let's see what they can do when they actually know how to drive. And for All-Stars, I mean, Blair and Haley, it made me so happy to see that they said they would come back again. I just hope if they come back, they're equally as annoyed with each other as they were this season.
If the show's around long enough for a third All-Stars, I think I can see it happen, but something tells me we won't get to that with these ratings. Rossi, All-Star team and unfinished business team.
Unfinished business, I'm going to go with a shocker, and I'm going to say CJ and Libby.
I would love that, but they would be first boots.
But All-Stars, hair
and Blair.
Harry and Blair.
Hair and Blairley.
Yes, them.
And Jared, All-Stars unfinished business.
For All-Stars, Haley and Blair. And for unfinished business, I would say Jenny and Jelani.
Wow, Jenny and Jelani. Favorite pit stop greeter and least favorite pit stop greeter. Were they any good? This was not season 25. Jared, favorite, least favorite.
Oh,
I can't remember
any of them. Surely there was some good ones somewhere.
What about the hipster Japanese guy?
Breakdancers.
Leg 1 was great. And least favorite, I'm just gonna say leg 5, which I don't know where it was and I don't know who it was.
Let's just say random carpet shop guy from last season. Rossi, least favorite pit stop greeter.
The best was probably that crazy guy from Japan. And least favorite is from the first Thailand episode where it got lost with everyone at the pit stop due to the engagement.
Oh, yeah. And Colin.
Well, favorite, I don't think there's any competition from the Japanese guy. Least favorite, anytime Phil asked about love connections throughout the season.
Yeah, here we go. Favorite other person, so a non-racer, like, your Pearly King, Queen of the World, the Sergeant Jerkass, those kind of people. The guest stars, Colin.
I want to say Hagen, but nothing beats the guy falling asleep in the shoe shop.
Yeah, he was good. Rossi?
What? Oh, I just had it. Come back to me. I can't think of it.
Jared?
For me, it would have to be, I think she was called Nora the Zebra.
Oh, yeah. She was good. Rossi?
I forgot it. I just had it.
I'm going to say Hagen, I think, because he got his own title, and he also got a flashback in the following episode. Have you got it, Rossi?
No, I'll remember at the end of this.
I'm holding you to that. Jared, best and worst roadblock.
This is so difficult. Worst, I'm going to say the last one, abseiling down that tower, was pretty boring. Best, just because I can't remember them and I'm sure there's something better. I did love the searching for the Clompens, for the shoes.
That was an entertaining challenge. Rossi, worst, best roadblock.
Oh God, I don't remember a lot of them. The worst I'd say was that puzzle box in Japan.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was random.
And the best was, I'd go with the shoe search or whatever it was.
Colin.
Yeah, nothing beats the shoe search. Worst, probably reassemble this transmission, whichever episode that was in.
Oh yeah, that was like this mechanic has lost his screwdriver or whatever. Yeah. Best worst detour, Colin.
Best detour, the hot tub for sure. Worst, what was the detour in the final episode? Did they have one?
There wasn't one.
Whatever the last detour of the season was. Well, the one
that would be
the second last episode. We just talked about it.
That would be Bricks and Dan.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, Bricks. Ugh.
I think the best, and not because of the challenges, but just the fact that they had to gamble on what detour they were doing. I loved that.
Oh, that was a great. I hope they bring that back. Spin the wheel.
Yeah, bring back gamble. Yeah. Rossi, best worst detour, or just some ones you can remember that you liked or didn't like.
I did not like the second episode of Thailand. Oh no, I liked that one. That was the Cat Cafe one.
Second episode. Oh, the second episode in Thailand. Yeah, okay.
I didn't like the first one in Thailand with the water park or the village people who needed their sandwiches or whatever.
That was terrible. Jared.
I liked the chair or share, the ice skating, and the noodles.
Oh yeah, that
was a
the
random
noodles,
combo.
Yeah. That was
there was also another one that was good. Why can I not think of it? I just saw it before and it was good, and now I can't remember what it was. That was another one in the whole race that was good.
Somewhere in the middle of the race.
I liked the first leg too, with the Saki or the sinking steps, even though it was one of those ones that wasn't really balanced either side.
Sinking steps looked very interesting. It was interesting to watch.
Yeah, that was a fun one, and I liked Saki. And what drink will you be having? And he just didn't reply. That was good. Let's see. Funniest moment, Jared.
Who's turned into a dog?
Me getting phone calls and my dog barking outside the door, maybe?
What was that? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I think the whole scene with Hagen and Haley and Claire.
Hello to Jared's dog, should he be listening right now. Rossi, funniest moment of the season.
I have the other. I remember the other.
Oh, yes, what's the other?
And it leads into the funniest moment.
Alright, give
My
it
favorite other was the potato woman who just released the potatoes onto the ground.
Yeah, what a bitch. She was mean. Yeah, and that was the funniest moment?
That and the fact that everyone didn't know where the heck the mamas was at that detour.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Colin, funniest moment.
It has to be a toss-up between Haley's paranoia at people seeing her butt in the hot tub and
or Jenny wearing full clothes in the hot tub.
The entire hot tub challenge. And
that was a good episode.
The nut shot from the zebra is definitely up there.
Rossi.
The guy sleeping in the shoe shop.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Best and worst twist, Colin. Weren't a whole lot, but there were a few.
Well, the best has to be the roulette detour, the random detour. And worst, when you already have so many non-eliminations, the final four. Let's just keep saying that until they get rid of it.
Yeah, should I stop it? Yeah. Rossi.
I'm going to make a bold call, and I'm going to say that my favorite twist was the blind date twist.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Because of all the great couples that came out of it?
Yeah, and how successful it was. Can't say I agree, but I probably overlooked that twist. That was like the main twist. But yeah, I didn't like that one too much. What was the worst though?
Final four.
Yeah. Jared.
The best would have to be the blind detours. They just need to keep coming back, and that's great.
Love blind detours.
The worst. I probably would have said the selfies, but I did think that they sort of got better, although I hated that final challenge. So I'd have to say the final four twist.
Alright, this is a terrible question, but Rossi wants me to ask it. Best selfie, Jared?
It would have to be the one that CJ and Libby took when the train was leaving and they missed it. That was a great...
bring back CJ and Libby. They were so great. They had to be one of the worst teams to ever compete, just in terms of skill. Rossi, best selfie.
Yes, that was the best. That was what I was going to mention. The train, that was so good.
Third from the left on Tyler and Laura's final board.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only one I remember the entire season is the CJ and Libby one.
And Haley's very first selfie in the car.
Yeah. That was funny. And there was a few good field selfies and pit stop breeder selfie. Let's look here. Alright, where would you roughly put this if you had to rank all the seasons, Colin? Just a rough thing, or an exact number if you want.
Yeah, I was originally thinking I'd rank it somewhere around, I don't know, like 15. But I just started rewatching season 14, which previously was one of my least favorites, and I'm enjoying it so much more. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a bottom 5 season for me in the end.
I like season 14. Fun season. A lot of fun teams, I think. Maybe we have to do a season ranking one time. Maybe not. I haven't even seen them all yet. Damn you, season 4 not being anywhere on the internet. Rossi, where roughly would you put it?
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the season. I think it was a bit unsuspenseful in parts. So I'd say middle, I'll say 16.
Jared?
I think around the 20 mark. I think that I didn't mind the season so much just because I hated the season of Survivor, so I was actually kind of more excited to watch The Amazing Race kind of throughout the season, so that definitely boosted up some spots and helped it out.
I'm going to say 20. It's certainly better than season 13, which in my eyes is one of the worst seasons of television ever. I hate
season 8.
Yeah,
season 8.
13 and Family Edition, if you include that.
I think Family Edition is better than season 13. Maybe one day we'll talk about my hatred for season 13.
And the most recent All-Star has to be in the worst too.
Oh, yeah. We could probably chuck, I don't know, season 19 in there as well. That wasn't great. There's not a lot of bad seasons I can think of, really. Season 13 sucks.
I'm sort of surprised that, Rossi, you said there were some unsuspenseful moments. I think there was maybe only 1 or 2 legs where there was any suspense at all in the end.
Yeah. All right. Final question, Jared. Guess the twist for season 27.
Well, I've already mentioned that it will be Family Edition with returning contestants, so that's what I'm going to go with.
That could actually be quite good if it was with returning players and you had Blair and Haley, Mike and Rochelle and the kid. Rossi, season 27 twist.
I think they're going to do this twist again, but a little differently. I think they're going to be all dating, but one of the team members is going to be blind.
I miss the blind dating, yes. That could be fun if one team member from each group was blind. I miss family members, like bring back Shelley and Nietzsche. Like, enough of this dating, like let's get some sisters and brothers and friends on here, and mother and daughter. Colin, guess the twist for season 26.
Brains versus brawn versus snooker stars.
Blue collar, white collar, no collar. They should do fans versus favourites. 6 returning teams, 6 fan teams.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Or 1 fan with 1 returning contestant.
Oh yeah, that could be good. I would like that. Bring back like 11 returnees, just single people, and pair them with fans.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea because you know that, unlike Survivor, if somebody wants to come back, they can come back. With Amazing Race, there's bound to be tons of teams where one person can come back, but the other can't.
Yeah, so like that means we could have Haley in it, and she's paired with a fan. And people like Rod and Kelly could come back finally because they're definitely not together anymore. So
or just like pair up forget even about fans with them. Just pair up random past contestants, like have Flo and Haley on a team together.
Yes,
please. So it's the Mark and Mallory twist. Yeah, that could be fun. CBS, if you're listening, do one of those twists. Enough of this blind date thing. Alright, that's all the questions I've got. Give me some rounding up thoughts on the season 26. It wasn't season 25, which we had a lot of fun talking about. It was kind of, we kind of started off in a bad thing with the twist, and now we're at the end. Colin, final thoughts on this season?
Well, I think along with Survivor, there really aren't that many terrible seasons that are unwatchable. I mean, I think that there's the 3 we talked about, the Family Edition season 13, and then the most recent All Stars. So even to say that this is a bottom 5 season, I mean, I still enjoyed it, and as Jared said, I was looking forward to this way more than Survivor week by week, because it wasn't a negative show, and that's one thing that I think this season had going for it. It was kind of a fun season, even if there really was no competition at all. I think with a bit of tweaking, they could even do this twist in the future and have it work.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, I agree with most of what you said there. Rossi, final thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed this season. I think it was just really fun, and I think that's something that was a bit different about it.
Swimming or?
Yeah, I thought it was just a fun season. I think the selfies were fun. I think the little quirky things like Libby and CJ marriage references and that, and all those kind of moments came together to make it fun and a little bit cheesy, but enjoyable to watch.
Jared, last but not least.
Yeah, I think it was, as much as it's probably ranked low, if I were to rank all the seasons, it was still a fairly good season. I think coming off the back of a great season, it's always hard to sort of live up to the last season that was on. But yeah, lots of fun moments. I thought the challenges overall were a bit lackluster this season, especially in the finale. But the one thing going for the finale was that the fact that you had each team in first at some position throughout the finale, which I thought was great to have those positions actually change around, not really have a runaway winner. So, I mean, that was good. I suppose, yeah, that's probably the main point of this season, was that there was no kind of standout runaway, this team's going to win and nobody else has a chance. So it was good to see sort of all the teams in the final 4 winning a leg. So that was good.
That's it for the season, then. It's done. Season 26 is over, and it wasn't cancelled based on this season, so Phil must be very happy. That's it. Season 27 is coming. We haven't officially been renewed for Amazing Race All 27, but I guess we'll do it. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas or any thoughts, what you thought about this season. We were pretty poor in the scheduling. Like, this is like 2 weeks after or whatever, and we had a lot of delays. So if we come back, we won't be that bad. I apologise for that. Yeah, Colin, Amazing Race Canada is coming up. John Montgomery finally back on our screen.
I think there'll be more talking points for that than there was for this season, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll cover it, but I guess I guess we could. It's probably coming up in the next month or so, I'm guessing.
Beginning of July.
Beginning of July. Yeah, and there's no Amazing Race Australia this year. Sad, Jared. I thought that was so much fun talking about that season last year.
Yeah, it is sad. It was a really well-produced show too. It's just that Channel 7 kind of didn't really give it any chance with their scheduling and changing the times. Like, I think it could have rated fairly well. It wasn't going to be their top show, but they just didn't give it a chance and they didn't care about it. So
it's going to be the best day of my life. Never again. We were talking about maybe doing a few special episodes during the off season. Nothing's confirmed. We're pretty slack around scheduling things, but we can probably. If you've got any suggestions for what we can talk about, we do. We were talking about maybe some interviews, but we haven't had anything concrete yet, so just stay tuned, survivorolls.com or Twitter or Facebook, and we'll hopefully be doing some stuff in the off-season before Season 27, if we're back. But yeah, Season 26 is over. It's a lot of finales at the moment. Everything's wrapping up. And I was saying, talking about wrapping up, Colin, thanks for joining for this season. You were here for all of them except for one, although technically all of them except for two. You were missing for one. Yeah, so thanks for being here.
Yeah, and a free autograph picture of Fatty Esther for whoever can pinpoint where I was in the missing episode.
Yeah, I'd love to hear someone figure that out. And a huge thanks to also Pamela and to Jamie for sneezing in that one random episode.
The cheese sneeze.
Hashtag cheese sneeze. Rossi, thanks for joining during this season for most of the episodes. You're probably missing for 3 or so of them.
Thanks, Noah.
Yeah, good way to end it. I'm glad that you could deal with this unprofessional host during the season. Hashtag call back to the predictions cast, which I was not a part of. So thank you, Rossi, for putting up with this non-professional. And he's typing in the chat like he always does. And of course, Jared, last but not least, I think you were here for most of them, maybe missing for 2 or 3, I'm not sure. But Jared, thanks for also being here.
Thank you. Thanks for putting up with my phone calls from Go Stop and my dog randomly appearing for the last episode because obviously he didn't like the finale. And it's great to finish the season on a high, being a joint winner in the rankings.
Yeah, you're on top of it at the moment, so good luck with all your future rankings. And that's it. Again, thanks to Kristen and Alex for joining us. They weren't here. Kristen has a migraine.
It's the first time she's been able to see natural daylight in a couple of months, so you can't blame her.
That's why she's got a migraine. We hope you get better, Christian. And Alex, thanks for doing the written recaps this season. Make sure to check them out. And that's it. Until next time, check out Survivor Oz. There's no more Amazing Race for the immediate future. And subscribe, and we'll speak to you next time on The Play.